What's up, world? It's your favorite photographer, Jermaine Horton, and we're getting ready to do bridal portraits on location. My favorite. Stay tuned. It's about to be fun. On a wedding day, you just never know what your surroundings are going to be. You never know if it's going to be overcast, if it's going to be sunny with hard light. There's so many different variables on an actual wedding day. And we wanted to go ahead and put everything to use. So part of the session that you'll see is that we are using FJ200 and the beauty dish. And it is my go-to setup at weddings every time. I don't bring the 400s. The 200 is perfect enough for everything that I need. And the reason why is because I always carry that beauty dish with the silver interior. The best part about that is most of the times I'll use it if it's, let's say like today, it's a sunny day, it's super bright, we have hard light. So the one thing you'll notice is I typically do not use diffusion because I like to match my light. So for the first shot that we did for our outdoor bridal portraits, one of the things I also look for that I'm really big on is reflections, natural reflections, even sometimes natural reflectors that will bounce light onto the subject as well. So it kind of helps when I'm using my FJ200. And for this one, because we were in the shade, we put the diffusion panel on. So that way we get that beautiful, nice, soft light. And I want to put my camera as close as I can to that window so that it picks up the reflection, so you'll see a mirror image for the final shot. And you'll notice also it's boomed up and with the softbox down, pointed at the subject. And it still looks awfully natural, which I think is amazing, right? And what I tell people all the time is when you're on location, sometimes it may not be the most beautiful location, it may not have all the bells and whistles you're looking for, but you can always find beautiful spots in these locations just using things like mirrors, using windows, whatever that you can use to allow yourself to separate yourself from the next person. So for the second part, we took our bride on this pavilion where there was a balcony, so to speak, with rails that kind of overlooked the city with the waters. And I knew that at that point, the sun was a little bit behind her. And me knowing that, I now know that I have a second light. So now I can focus on my first light, which is my main light with the FJ200, and it is not diffused. I am using hard light to match the hard light that's coming in. There's not a cloud in the sky. So I'm saying to myself, all right, now I just need to expose for the ambient light. And I try to use the sky to gauge for that, or my background just to see what's in the area. Then I match it with my shutter speed, and I may stop down on my aperture, just kind of depends. But that's how I end up using a high-speed sync, and it looks beautiful, and that is what we're going for, so that we can overpower the sun to match that ambient light. For our final shot that we took near the water, I did the same principles, no diffusion. The sun was coming down on the side of her again, on the other side of her, away from the camera. And so toward the camera, shooting toward her, again, I wanted to make sure the diffusion was off. I wanted it to be dynamic. I wanted to match the hard light that's coming down from the sun. And then my composition is, I want it to be something that's a powerful photo, right? And typically I'll shoot down, but then I make sure her neck is angled a certain way, her nose is pointed to the direction that I wanted it. And in the process of that, I'm also allowing that person to be them, letting them feel the sun on their faces and cracking jokes, having a good time. And that's the most important part of your location, is making sure that the client feels great, making sure that it's something that even if it's not the most opportunist place that you would like to be at, sometimes you'll find that gem in a hidden area, whether it's a little creek, a river, little rocks by the water, and you just have the subject sit by there. And the best part is having an assistant that is willing and able, that does not mind getting their toes and feet wet, and having a good time with the client to make sure that she gets everything she wants on her wedding day. And that is exactly the goal that we were going for with shot number 3. One of the amazing things about the Pro Grip 2 is you don't have to say, oh, well, where's the light stand? Well, you don't have to worry about having a light stand when you can have a human light stand, such as your assistant. The number one thing that people complain about is the wind is taking the softbox, or if you're not going to use the diffusion panel, you have that opening inside of it where if the wind catches it, it's going to knock it over. So having that Pro Grip 2 alleviates that and helps you hold on to what you're using to make sure that the job is efficient, easy, and fun at the same time. Hopefully you all ended up getting something that you can use as nuggets from this content that we got today, whether it's on location, wherever you're at in the world, in your city, in your studio, you can apply these same principles. Tell me what you all like best about what you all saw today, the content, and tell me what you'd like to see more of. I'll be back with Westcott doing some more things, and yeah.